Welcome back to Just the Tips, the show where we are verbally debriefing Virgin Island.
Today we are touching on masturbation,
Sex positions,
and finally climaxing with the orgasm.
Let's jump in. Right, let's go straight into the first workshop where they were exploring intimacy. That was a very interesting moment, don't you think?
Yes, very interesting, very eye-opening to see all those different sex positions being demonstrated.
They were rolling all about that place.
Really, and swapping in, people swapping in, having their go, tag teaming, getting their chance on the bed. And I think we can really see by episode 5 a lot of confidence starting to blossom in the Islanders. Knowledge is power, and they've been given a lot of knowledge, and they're starting to find their power.
Yes, they are, definitely. There's so many people that walked in there not willing to do much relating to touch at all, and now, episode 5, they're rolling about that bed like there's no tomorrow.
I know.
And finally, the leapfrog.
And that's how it's done.
Rolling all over the bed, doing 4 positions, which I think I knew. I think I'd...
Are you sure about that?
I was familiar with the 4 that they did.
Are you sure? Do you want testing on that?
I would take a test.
Because you're in luck today, because I have these cards with me.
Okay.
And I want you to be able to tell me which each of these sex positions are.
Okay, fine.
But these ones are... I use them quite a lot, but I'm not sure everybody at home would use them quite a lot.
Okay.
So first of all, we have this one.
Is that not missionary?
Well, the legs are up in the air, missionary. You just sort of lay there flat in missionary.
Okay, so it's kind of like...
God, this is...
It's kind of like happy missionary?
Happy missionary, is that what you're going for? Happy missionary. Captain.
Captain.
He's the captain
that was my
of that
second
ship.
guess.
That's like the Jack and Rose moment, isn't it, in Titanic?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
with the legs spread rather than the arms.
So that's actually called the Titanic.
Yeah, the Dirty Jack. This one I am very familiar with.
That is...
This is a very empowering one for the male.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So are both her legs round his waist?
Yeah.
These are pretty athletic for the men.
Yeah, these are quite intermediate.
Intermediate to advanced. That
for me.
is the cannon.
Cannon, nice try. No.
Yeah, that's it.
I can see why you get that. This is definitely shooting something, but it's the Superman.
The Superman.
Very empowering.
Super person.
Oh, wow. I know this
She's
one.
getting a crick in her neck.
Yeah.
Straight away.
More than a bloody neck, it looks like. She could, if I was doing that, I could definitely lick my own nipple.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
I'll show you later.
Again, that's a lot of flexibility for the lady, which...
The guys, all these really got to do is up and down on that one. But then again, I complain when I have to go up and down on it.
Oh, so he's got straight legs, then her hips are right up at his hip height.
It just seems like so much
That just seems like, just get on the bed and do it missionary. But, just get this over with. We've got Coronation Street in 10 minutes. I would call this the plough.
The plough?
Yeah.
It's the pile driver.
The pile driver.
I could understand that name if it was...
I mean, there's no romance there, is it? The pile driver.
No, I could understand the name if it was a backdoor position.
Yeah. Well, I think what we've learnt from that is that there's infinite sex positions for everyone to try.
I think once you've got a bit of confidence, you sort of make it up yourself, don't you, really?
Give them a name.
Yeah, that's
Stick an arm here, leg there.
That's it.
Call it the eagle.
Got the corkscrew. That is actually...
Is that a corkscrew?
That is actually a position, yeah. And the Rafflecopter, but we'll not get into that right now. Moving swiftly on.
Moving swiftly on.
They started talking about masturbation, didn't they? And our Emma did explain how she's never actually had an orgasm or masturbated or touched herself, which I thought was quite astounding. Fair play to her. She's got some self-control unless the desire wasn't there. Maybe it's something that just opens up when you first do it.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
When you open Pandora's box.
That's it.
So here we have a box of toys. This is an opportunity to find pleasure with yourself.
when that box came out, it was so full of variety that even I was intimidated. And I know my way around a sex toy.
Yeah.
But for these virgins, like, it must be so complicated because most of them are different sizes. They've all got 74 speed variants, different settings. It's like, what works for me?
Yeah.
So I imagine they were quite intimidated by that, yeah.
I can imagine so, because also, if you've never explored masturbation at all, then being given a toy or, you know, something else to add into the equation must be like, oh my God.
I think my first time, you just have to go acoustic on that bitch, really.
Yeah, you just,
you would.
take it back to basics, you know?
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, with toys like that, especially with vibrating toys, you can get overstimulated, then desensitized to the actual vibration.
Yeah.
So I think they should have slipped in that you can, in fact, go manual.
But is it helpful to have like a little vibrator, a little something, a little bullet, just to get Emma's stoke the fire, blood flowing? Yeah.
Yeah, because
to break the ice.
Maybe, just don't want her getting too much too fast. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, with the expert's advice on how to use it and things, I'm sure she'll be having a great time from now on.
Having a great time.
Yeah, people like to pretend that women don't masturbate, which is just not true. People also like to pretend that women don't have like sexuality of their own, which women definitely do. Women have sex drives. Sure, it's not the same as a man's, but yeah, women masturbate. Everyone masturbates. Everyone loves a good sex toy. But yeah.
Exploring yourself, your sexuality, your body, before really committing to someone is quite important, because you'll understand yourself a bit better. You might be able to understand them a bit better when it does happen. Like, even like having sex with someone else before you get married to a certain person. It's important to understand your likes, dislikes, your needs, your wants, setting yourself boundaries and expectations as well.
I think there's a stigma around masturbation in women because back in the day, obviously, women were kind of like seen to be... Men were kind of like superior to women. I feel like that still kind of follows on in like misogyny. And even like to this point, like I feel like when women do OnlyFans or stuff like that, they're shamed for it, but if a guy did it, it would be not as bad.
Viraj and Emma have quite a nice friendship, relationship kind of blossoming, and they have a little chat on the Sun Loungers about masturbation.
So you didn't go back to your tent and have a wank?
No, we went.
Have you had one since being?
Do you want to know?
Yeah, that's the fact your no answer is definitely an answer.
Have you?
No.
Really?
No comment.
Come on.
Maybe. I have a little bit, but I haven't orgasmed though.
It's almost like a masturbation shame chat because they're not sure whether to reveal to each other if they have done it, if they haven't.
It's crazy how much, obviously, self-pleasure and masturbation have been seen as a shameful thing for so long in society. But even more so that it's been brought onto an island that is simply, you know, for that. That is, you know, the reason that they are there is to experience this pleasure. And even on this island, in this setting, they are still feeling some sort of shame.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about society. I mean, I don't know, I can't remember the first time I, you know, chucked one out, but I think I would have been ashamed to tell anyone, scared to tell anyone. I don't think I did tell anybody. But being like that in your 20s, that must be quite a daunting and dark place to be in, because there must be so much that you can't open up about if you feel so much shame on actually doing anything sexual at all.
Yeah.
To me, that feels quite like vicious.
Okay, so actually, you can just start like with your fingers and then work your way up to the vibrator.
The hands, I'm just a bit unsure on how to approach it.
Back in the days, when you're at school or a teenager and you do lose your virginity, a lot of people like to brag about it. And I can remember people asking me in school, are you a virgin? And I didn't even know what it meant, so I was just like, yeah, or someone would say, have you lost your virginity? And you just say, yeah, because you weren't sure. But then when you do now, and you feel pressure by people in school that have already started to do that stuff, then you start to brag about it. But nobody ever says, have you had your first wank yet?
No.
Have you swapped one out yet?
Yeah.
Emma, it's Aisha.
Hello.
Self-pleasuring without lube is like trying to tongue kiss without saliva.
Oh my God. Someone's going to walk past and just hear loads of noise.
These islanders are really getting a crash course in everything you need when it comes to sex. Sometimes it isn't just two people, sometimes it can be toys, sometimes it can be lubricant. We saw Emma with
the world's biggest bottle of lubricant.
Yeah, ready for her workshop.
Well, that's it. You never really know how it's going to go, especially with your first time. I never know how it's going to go with any time, really, because there are times where you will self-lubricate, you won't need any lube, but then there are times that we're going to need more than lube. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean it's like normal or not normal.
Bad,
I think a lot of us experience different things. I still, have intimate connections with people that I don't know, my vagina just says no. I don't know why. I'm not saying no in my head, but my body's saying no. And I think a lot of the time our bodies can actually reject people, and we don't realise that, like, just listen to your body. But also it's absolutely fine if you're attracted to this person and you want things to go, but it's not quite working, especially if it's in your first time, then you're probably going to need a whole sea of lube.
To men having sex and you're having penetration, lube is essential.
Yeah, you definitely need that giant bottle of lube.
And you need to be able to be relaxed, and you need to be able to feel safe, and you need a lot of foreplay just to get you ready for...
It is about the safety and relaxation. You need to be able to feel comfortable in your own body. You need to be able to feel comfortable, like, undressed, and you need to not think that your partner's judging. Like, you need to know that they're not. And I assume even more so for a gay man relationship, like, the relaxation of it is absolutely so important. Just feeling really, really... with yourself, in tune with the other person and in tune with yourself.
Totally, and you can't get in tune with your body if you're worrying about what the other person is thinking or what they're doing, if you're worried about this. Making sure you have all the factors together to, provide the perfect environment for the best penetration, I think is very, very important to get that knowledge.
So not just a spit and a spank and straight on in, that's what we're saying.
Exactly. There's some procedures.
Yeah.
Well, that is all we've got time for on Just the Tips. We are going to sit here and bask in the afterglow of our verbal orgasms.
Make sure you join us next time where we finally get to see who goes all the way.
Bye.